Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about iOS 17.3 about a week or more so later. And how has this update been since its official drop? We know that Apple dropped a few goodies with iOS 17.3. So this follow-up is going to consist of talking about those features as well as performance, battery life, and overall experience on iOS 17.3. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the journal updates. One of the things that I definitely like with 17.2 was the addition of the journal app. One of the things that I definitely appreciated was the fact that it works very, very well. And for those who's wondering about my screen, I do have my night shift on, so that's why you see a little tint on the screen. But Journal has improved with iOS 17.3. How so? The amount of suggestions that it now offers. And if we go into settings, I'll show you guys here. Scrolling down until we see Journal, the last app here. All these things are now available for this to suggest. And jumping in here, of course, it gives you additional privacy access settings, so that way you can ensure if you don't want it to access those things, it's up to you. But some of those things have been a very, very big benefit to Journal. One of the things I've been able to appreciate about using the Journal is the fact that it allows me to be able to log in. I know it allows me to be able to log in my fitness updates. So let's say I've been working out over the day. It will suggest to me at some point during the day, would you like to journal about your recent fitness activities? And it suggests whatever I logged in. And since I do wear an Apple Watch, that's how I record my fitness activities through the fitness workouts. Those are able to be synced through the Apple Health app, of course, and through fitness on here into the journal app to then allow us to be able to journal about that. If you went to different locations, it also allows you to be able to log in your journal entries and thoughts about that as well. And I've also noticed more reflections, different reflections show up to use as a basis for journal entries. So let's say you didn't want to necessarily journal about any significant locations or events that's taken place recently, or even fitness activities. If none really stood out for your day, those reflections give you something to think about to then journal on. And I found that to be very useful with this journal app. So shout out to Apple for really improving that with iOS 17.3. And I can't wait to see what else comes with the journal app down the road. The next thing we're going to talk about and briefly highlight is crash detection. So if we come into settings, and once I find it here, I probably have to go back this direction. In emergency SOS, this is where you're going to see crash detection down here. Call after severe crash. This has been optimized. Now, I haven't had to experience it, thankfully. Haven't had any accidents. But the reason why this had to be further optimized is because doing roller coaster events at convenient parks, maybe bumper cars, right? Different types of recreational activities can trigger crash detection. And so what needs to be done about that? Simple optimization on Apple's part to improve the sensors within your phone or device to be able to properly detect an actual crash, or at least ask about it to see if you were in a crash. And so I found that to be something that was probably much needed, because some people's phones were being triggered with crash detection as a result of just doing some regular everyday activities. AirPlay in hotels also showed up with iOS 17.3. We're probably waiting on hotels and TV makers for hotels to activate that feature or include it, so that way you can cast and mirror your screen and share content to your hotel room. That's something that is probably much needed with the amount of iPhones out here and hotel visits. And of course, the last thing that we want to talk about before we get into the major features is the Unity wallpapers. So again, I don't know why I didn't just stay in settings. If I come into settings here and I come over here to wallpaper, and I click on wallpaper and I decide to add a new wallpaper, these right here, and you get several different designs all within one pack. And they add a nice level of creativity to your iPhone, and shout out to Apple for adding that. Now, before we get into the two major features that I want to talk about and how have they been improved, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys Hit that like button, it's free. Subscribe to the channel, it's free. Hit the notification bell, it's also free. That way you never miss my video. So that way you and I can sit back, chillax, see what's cracking. Now let's get back into the video. That kind of support is very appreciated here as well. Stolen device protection. Again, a lot of this is in settings. So upon backing out of here, backing on out, and we come into Face ID and passcode, Apple added another security measure to further enhance and prevent your iPhone from being stolen, and that is stolen device protection. What a perfect feature to go alongside contact key verification that came in iOS 17.2. Stolen device protection now requires biometrics upon trying to change passcodes or affect your biometrics. So you need a biometric code before, and if you're not in a familiar location, it will cause a hour delay. And then even after the hour delay, you will still need biometric authentication again in order to change any privacy slash password slash biometric authentication. What a perfect feature, because whoever potentially steals somebody's iPhone, they're probably not going to be around them nor in that familiar location anymore. So the odds of them having your biometrics the second time, if they can get it the first time, is what's going to shut down that iPhone from being accessed, and your settings, your information will stay secure. And now thieves will be less likely to try to steal iPhones because of these security measures. Now, I've been paying attention to iOS 17.4 beta, and they actually enhanced stolen device protection to now add to give you an additional option as to whether or not you actually want the delay to come on all the time or only in familiar locations. Because say somebody does steal your device and it is at your work location, or maybe they steal at your home, then they will be in a familiar location to then access your information. So be on the lookout when I drop that video on iOS 17.4, when that does drop. But I did want to highlight that feature. I really like that feature alongside contact key verification to continue to add security for our iPhones, so that way we can keep these to ourselves and not allow thieves to gain access to our information or our physical hardware. And the last feature I want to talk about is collaborative playlists within Apple Music. Now, if I come on over here to library, and then I come on in here to playlist, and then I click on the test playlist, and then I actually click on a song, as you see, I have it right there. Some people may not know, but in order to access those reactions, you have to actually play the song and then actually come into the song. Thank you. Come into the song. And then you get the animation of the reaction alongside the reaction right there, and you can change it. So if you want to click on it, you can then change it to whatever you want. And any other collaborators or collaborators that's within the playlist can also react, and it will be visible, as you saw, on the outside in the actual playlist. I find this to be useful, but I also have not found myself actually collaborating with anybody on a playlist yet. I probably will in the future shortly, because my wife uses YouTube Music. I use Apple Music. So that's an ongoing debate in the house. But I have some friends that probably would like to collaborate on a playlist, and I can use that. Now, in terms of performance, how has this been? I have noticed that it is performing very, very smoothly. The only thing I've noticed, period, when it comes to the iPhone, is that if you go on and off several times, your swipe may not work. So right now it's working, but like, I know sometimes what can happen is it will freeze before then allowing you to actually enter the phone or access your notification center. So that's the only thing I've really noticed when it's come to the iPhone, and I feel like that was also present prior to 17.3 and alongside iOS 17.2, is that there's occasional freeze or lag on the home, or jumping from screen off to screen on, or from always on display to screen on. Outside of that, performance has been very smooth, very fast. I like how this really works. Real live activities. I don't think I have a game going on right now. Or I might. I think I do, yeah. So if I click on this, and it shoots back up at the top if I press and hold. This works so much better now. So performance wise for iOS 17.3 has been phenomenal in my case. The cameras continue to work well. I've only had a couple situations where when I took a picture, it was a little hazy, or it didn't outright have the focus right, or low light just didn't kick in. But that has been very inconsistent. If anything, it's been very consistent with good quality photo and video. And you guys have seen some of those videos, of course, watching some of the content. If the iPhone's not in the video, it's probably shooting the content. And shout out to Apple for having such solid cameras from that perspective. Battery life has also been phenomenal. Now, I recently have gotten the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus to run alongside this and to compare against, so be on the lookout for that video soon. Now granted, I got the Plus model, so it's 6.7 inches. That phone can last me upwards of like 40 plus hours before I have to charge it again. This phone may last 24 to 30 hours, maybe 32. So still not bad for the smaller iPhone 15 Pro, but with iOS 17.3, I haven't noticed any bad indications of battery life. I only noticed good. And if we go in here and check my battery real quick, just to give you guys a look at what my battery looks like, it should still be at 100. So if I go battery health and charging, I am still at 100%. And that's because I use the optimized charging. I take advantage of those things. I don't charge it if I don't have to overnight. So let's say I got like 30% left or something like that. I'll typically try to just wait till the next day to charge it. So I'll wait till I'm closer to like, 10, 15, 20% before I pop it on the charger. Unless I'm going somewhere the next day, then I'll pop it on the charger just in case. I rarely ever use low power mode on here. So with low power, I probably could get additional battery life out of the iPhone 15 Pro. But iOS 17.3 has only further enhanced the battery and the overall user experience when it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro. So those who are questioning whether or not to download and update and install their iPhones with iOS 17.3, I can safely say and recommend you update your devices to iOS 17.3. But that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comment section below, what are some things that have stuck out to you with iOS 17.3? Have you ran into any bugs or features that don't work or that you don't like? The comment section is open for a discussion. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, it's free. Subscribe to the channel, it's free. And hit that notification bell, it's also free. That way you never miss my videos. So that way you and I can sit back, chillax, see what's cracking. It's your man Micah signing out, and until the next video.